is quite different. And our subject is a technical writing. Okay, so you have to write a technical document, a specific document that focus on some reader or audience. Okay. The second, you have to answer. The second question is what questions they are exploring. Okay, what they are exploring. That's the problem. Okay, the root of problem that they want to answer or they want to explain. Okay, this you should uh, write this, and you following the homework number one. I have already given to you that you following or you just fill on the question sheet, and here is a short is a similar. And the third question is what the third question is what will you read first, second, or third, and why. Okay, this the sequence or the sequence that you should read first and then the next one. Okay, so you have to answer the question and reason why. Okay, and the fourth is this text different to a newspaper article. Okay, it's how it's different from the newspaper, because you know that the newspaper is for general or for society, for all the people. Okay, it contains a general information or news. Okay, and you should clarify that it's just the technical or academic article is must be different to the normal or the general newspaper. Okay, and the fifth is the last one. Is this text? How is the text different to a book chapter? Okay, a book chapter, and you should know that the the academic article, usually so, or they mention to a specific problem, and or they describe the solution. That means academic article is they mention about the problem, and then they dedicate the solution, and finally they have conclusion. That means it's academic article is a complete document from beginning to the ending. Okay, so book chapter is one a part of a book. Okay, it's maybe it generate or they describe the problem and just give some hint or some direction how to solve problem or in general. But maybe it cannot be a complete thing, but maybe it's one part. Okay, that's a file. You should find
Tiếng Anh buồn cười.
sao em.
Chứ mà có mấy thằng trẻ con ấy, nó Thảo nhỉ, nhớ cái từ quan hệ.
Khi tôi giảng bằng tiếng Anh như vậy thì các em có nghe được không? Nếu mà các em chưa hiểu thì chúng ta có thể biểu quyết chuyển sang dùng tiếng Việt hoặc là vẫn dùng tiếng Anh, vì cái môn này thì muốn là dạy bằng tiếng Anh để chúng ta quen được cái môi trường. Ok. Thế ok. Thế nếu mà cái phần tiếng Anh mà các em cảm thấy nó không catch được thì các em phải phản hồi ngay, đúng không? Ok. À, chúng ta sẽ làm một cái vote đi. Lớp trưởng đi, Tuấn Anh làm một cái vote cho các bạn. Nếu mà được thì ta chuyển sang dùng slide tiếng Anh và ờ, chuyển sang giảng tiếng Việt.
Thưa thầy là nếu như mà hiện tại thì làm luôn một cái vote là em viết vào đây bạn nào like comment tờ này thì chúng ta học tiếng Anh. Trên là
Ừ.
một tờ like học tiếng Việt.
Ừ. Đấy, em làm một hai cái comment đi, xong bạn nào vào thì bọn ta vote vào học tiếng Việt.
Đấy thì
Ok.
các bạn tương tác luôn.
Phần nào chúng ta mà chưa hiểu thì chúng ta cần phải raise để chúng ta làm. Ok. Trong quá trình mà tôi mà giảng bằng tiếng Anh, nếu cái phần nào mà các em chưa nắm được thì các em phản hồi ngay để tôi có thể giải thích thêm, được chưa? Vì hiện nay bây giờ nhìn thấy ở đây đang có 18 bạn đang like bằng tiếng Anh rồi, chỉ có 8 bạn là đang comment bằng tiếng Việt thôi. Rồi, ở đây thì tôi mới nhìn thấy có 30 bạn và 22 bạn bằng tiếng Anh giỏi. Okay, so okay, Okay, so now we move to the lecturer. Okay, so jigsaw technique is the way to help you uh, to read an academic article uh, effective way. Okay, so before you read and you apply the jigsaw technique, that's the way you answer the 5 questions that I mentioned. Okay, you should clarify everything, and I think it's and you easy for you. Okay, to understand 5 questions following, and you should following the example. You should predict the structure of the typical academic journal article. Okay, so you have a list. Okay, you should see the list, 5 lists, 10 lists, item, 10 item in the list that I, I list out here, and also you have already downloaded and you know your task for each peer working group. You should read and choose uh, technical papers and should finish the list. And you know that in the question sheet, I also mentioned similar this list. Okay, so this part you understand step by step about it. Okay, and the next one is uh, reading, and fill any gaps. Okay, just you should compare with your knowledge when you read a technical newspaper on the technical paper. Okay, so first that you should come uh, with the title. Okay, so the title tell you, I mentioned that you lost, and look at the authors, list of authors, and are they hotshot? Okay, it's you should read and then you read the abstract well, because it gives an overview. Okay, so you should read it 3 more times to see if article is truly for you. It's neat, or it's just for you, or you find the misinformation. Okay, and then get to the introduction. Is experimentized. Look at the theoretical framework. Okay, it's questions to answer the question. Okay, and look at the theoretical framework of the paper. Okay, and finally, and then you want to have objectives. As there is every article phase as an objective, pertinent, and are they up to date? Okay, because you should find maybe you should find another way. When you use, for example, you can use Google when you want to get more additional information about the technical paper, newspaper, and authors. Okay, in Scholar will give you the information, detailed information about the article that you need. Okay, because it will tell you. Okay, it tell you some citation. Okay, citation match. Citation, that means that the publication or the newspaper is a technical paper is really good or not, because when it's a new idea and have a very good uh, value, that means a lot of other will so many others will uh, make a reference, or they read it and they take the idea from the citation paper. Okay, and then you find the methodology which show you how to done with result. Okay, and then the result will come with explore through the discussion. Okay, when you read it, you see the results. The result is like the evidence to clarify or to confirmation all the methodology that they mentioned before. Okay, so where you have a methodology, okay, methodology, and then they have a methodology is like some calculation or some design or some solution, just in theory, in theory, and after that they want to make a confirmation, you know, the confirmation by the results. Okay, the results could be, as I said last week, that the result is you can take from simulation or from experiment. Okay, so in the magazine, in the journal that I uploaded for each peer working group, so you should know where is the methodology, where is the result, and then they make the discussion. Okay, the discussion is a more or detailed explanation about the result, and then they make the comparison. They make comparison between the calculation or between the methodology and the result. They know, or from the discussion, you know the gap between the methodology and the real result, and how they explain the tolerance or the differences between the methodology and result. And furthermore, in following our control engineering and automation, is experiment result or measurement result is a very useful, and it will be higher evaluate. It should be a highest evaluation for the technical paper. And I want to give you some additional information that in following you can see some magazine or some magazine have their own benchmark. The benchmark. This maybe you can find it Q1 or Q2. Okay, it's the classification, the quality classification of the magazine. It's the highest ranking or lower. Okay, so in the highest magazine ranking, they always ask for authors that in their publication must have, must have the experimental result. That means you have a pilot, or you have to build a real object, and then you make some experiment on that, and then you use some tool to collect or to catch the result. So they say that's a measurement result. And I said you before last time that I showed you my newspaper. So I have a analyze, I have a calculation, and have a design, and I have a simulation result, and then I built a experiment. I built a pilot, okay, circuit in order to verify all the simulation result. And then I make some discussion about the differences between the simulation result and measurement results. Okay. And last but not least is a conclusion. And now in jigsaw, okay, in jigsaw, that you should read it first and then see their suggestion for future work. Okay, it's last but not least, a conclusion is very short, but it contains all the key points of the research or of the report. Okay, because you have a research paper or you have a technical report, so you must have, okay, in your in your work in the future, maybe you have to complete some assignment, okay, like project 2, project number 2, or the specific project or the graduation project. You must have a conclusion. This conclusion, just you have a short descriptive and evaluative description. Okay, that's you first in the maybe in the following my experience, that you should read the abstract. You should read the abstracts first, and then you should read the conclusion. And you know that because you know the abstract is the overview for their work, and conclusion is briefly mentioned about the main results. Okay, okay. So and after that you can should read the future work. Because why you should read the future work? Because in conclusion, they make like a final decision, and they make a ending for a project. Okay, and but they in the future work you should, or they could give out, could figure out maybe some drawback or some problems that maintain or in their research is not or has not been solved. It like a future work, like a hint for you for your new research, or you can find out the new way or the new direction for your research. That's you should read. Well, you should read. Okay. Okay. So now is the answer to predict the structure of a typical academic text. Okay. So you have 10 points when you read an academic article. Okay. So you can see here the picture that contain quite a lot of books. That means you now, when you search on Google or another searching machine, that you can feel it will return you a huge of results. and how to collect or how to choose the most suitable one for you. Okay, it's a way to collect the fastest way to collect the information that really suitable for you. And now here we go to the structure. Okay, you can see the structure is the same way as a typical structure. Okay, so you can see it's the same way. Okay, it's we have the, you should see here is the objectives of the article, and then you see the list of authors, and then you see, okay, as I mentioned, okay, it's the list of the institution and organization that the author belongs to. Okay, and you can see here the article information. Okay, okay, so the article history is when the time they submit, and then they have a feedback from the evaluator, and then they have to revise, or you have to re-edit their article following the idea of the reviewer, and then you submit again, and they accept their article was accepted on 19th September 2014. Okay, and so and after that they're available online. Okay, and here you know the keywords. Okay, the keywords, and I extract here the abstract. Okay, the abstract is mentioned about the overview, okay, of the article. They mention about the objective of the article and maybe the result. Okay, and here you find, okay, we have introduction, okay, following, and because when you read, okay, you read the academic article, you can use maybe Acrobat Reader or something. You can easy to choose in the View tab to, okay, to open up, okay, the TOC, the table of content, or you can see here so many parts. Okay, this how many parts of the article. Okay, and then you can make the comparison with the list that I mentioned here. Okay, so we have a list. Okay, before you read and you complete the question sheet. Okay. Okay, and in more detail, before you dive in, you can search or consider about the author. Is the additional information that you help you to make a final decision how to read or stop reading this article. Okay, so you read the author's biography at the end of the article. So in the task that I uploaded to team, that some newspaper have biography of the authors, but some not. Okay. Okay, so do quick Google search what they are doing now. Okay, do some updated information about the authors, they continue or they following continue to work with the research direction or not. Okay, you have some updated information about it. Okay, okay, and what kind of bias and affiliation of funding sources. Okay, okay, so this follow answer the question step by step. Okay, you so first you consider about the title. Okay, is the following this uh, because when you read, okay, you read the title and to answer, okay, you short out. Okay, it's some way. This way is like a demonstration to help you to implement uh, your homework. Okay. Okay, it's some hint or some information. Okay. Okay. This technique to read first article inform article academic article, and now I move to another part is how to read uh, abstract. Okay, so an example, and now uh, how to read abstract. It's very short. Now we, and then you can following this instruction to read the technical paper. Okay, so we have, I repeat again, here we have an article with abstract. So when you read, because it's the first, when you read an also a book or technical paper, you should read the abstract. Okay, so you should the technique here. You should divide abstract into 4 parts. Okay, 4 parts according to following structure. The first, the first is a background of the study or the background of the object that which of the you mentioned. Okay, you mentioned two. Okay, it's background. The second is the thesis statement. Is here is main argument of the publication. Okay, so following this abstract, you have 2 places that mention about the thesis statement. The third is a methodology. This is the methods that they apply, the way how they implement or how they make analysis. Okay, how they collect the data, and then they what kind of methods they do they did in order to get a chart or the classification or similar. And finally is a finding. It's maybe it's a finding is some problem or that they find after applying the methodology on the collected data. Okay, it's so you can see here. Okay, you can it's easy for you to read. Okay, it's easy for you to read as an abstract. Okay, and it's like an example. And here is abstract, the full abstract, and then now you see the result. Okay, and here you can see the background of study. Okay, the background study is a ICT. Okay, for example, and so you should apply it away uh, to segue to your task. Okay, is they mentioned about the information and communication technology in education. Okay, and the final, the part, the second part is a thesis statement. Okay, you find out here two thesis statement. Okay, so we argue that with the color. Yeah, and finally, okay, we discuss the value of downstream technique. Okay, it's just a statement. And third part, the third part that we use methodology. Okay, the methodology. Okay, to how to collect and how to get the information. Okay, and what kind of which methods they use to make analyze. Okay, the methods. And finally, they give some like a finding. Okay, they make some idea about also mention about that. Okay, here's the key player rich. Okay, this part. Okay, I hope I will update upload this slide onto Team so you can find download it and find it. Okay, this is the mentors to how to read the abstract. Okay, you read. I mentioned that you read a technical newspaper, and then you read the abstract, and then you read the conclusion, and then you read the main body parts of the technical paper. Okay, and then you answer on fill in the question sheet. Okay. So just we finish the reading. We finish the reading technique, and now we move to the main content of this one. Is the oral presentation. Okay, the oral presentation is contain the information about the multimodal. So you should know about the multimodality. Okay, just you use a multi-mode. Okay, in multi-mode in your presentation, and you should know what the presentation is, and then how to make your best presentation. Okay, and I mentioned about the presentation skill, just some skill to help you. And the third is I give you an example about the 3-minute slide. Okay, 3-minute slide. Okay, this is an idea about the 3-minute slide and some rule, some tips and tricks how to make a 3-minute slide. An example of 3-minute slide, and then the assignment and peer working group. Okay. And so before you go, we can see the video clip of Professor Hunter Kress from University of London Institute of Education. Okay, he mentioned about
Thầy đang kết nối lại không? Hello.
Thầy đâu rồi?
Bật mic lên cho chúng biết, không thể tưởng máy chúng nó lag. Ao hết thế này.
Come questo, come cioè, come la mia, cioè, no? vấn đề đó. Đó. Tuy nhiên là cái cơ thể là tính mà là để cũng nó xác lập. Ta đã vẽ là tính ở trên độ gì mà omega tất cả phải đo được, nên là phải xác lập. Đó, phải đo được, mới vẽ được. Và coi rằng cái giá trị trung bình của dòng điện nó không biến đổi, không biến đổi xác lập. Thì công trình nó rất đơn giản để thôi. Đó.
Chưa vẫn mưa ấy rồi mỡ.
What is multimodality and how to use it in your presentation? It's a multimodality is a way that you can combine so many some modes in your presentation in order to get the best. And the presentation is the modern and most effective way to communicate with others. The way that you want to transfer your idea and to explain for others as much as possible in order to help audience to get your idea. Okay, and the second that I mentioned about the presentation skill and how to the skill, the first skill to build your presentation is good looking. Okay, it's a attractive way, and then some soft skill and as well as hard skill to help you to get more confidence during making presentation. Okay, and in order to help you to get more interesting way to collect the impression from audience. And the third is a technique how to create and the rule a 3-minute slide. Okay, how to create it. Okay, and some rules, some strict tips and tricks to create the 3-minute slide. And the fourth is an example of 3-minute slide. And finally, it's the assignment and peer cooking group. Okay, and now we move to the, let's see the video clip of Professor Günther Kress from University of London Institute of Education about multimodality. Okay, and then I have uploaded the question set, the multi-choice question based on the short video, and then you read it and you watch the video clip as many times as you want. And then we have a multi-choice. We have a sheet of 5 multi-choice questions, and then you have to submit it individually. Okay, so that means you see, okay, and then you answer the question. Okay, now let's see the video clip. It's easy for you. I can leave it with the subtitle. It's a very helpful for you to collect all the idea of the Professor Winter Crest. Okay, and it's a interview between interviewer and Professor Cruz about the multimodality and how they apply to the presentation. Okay. Các em nhìn thấy cái màn hình chưa? Do you see all? Okay. Okay. So now I should review a little bit back. Okay. So we catch all steps about the multimodality, presentation skill, soft skill, hard skill, and what is a 3-minute slide, as well as the example of 3-minute slide. I also uploaded my example and the 3-minute slide of Dr. Aurora from Australia, who taught me the technical writing and presentation. And then all of you peer working group have an assignment to fulfill all the requirements after you see or watch the video clip. Okay, and now we start.
So what happens when we put modes together?
Thầy ơi, thầy bật mic thì bọn em mới nghe thấy tiếng của video ạ.
Click on a particular thing, and what I have is something which is in time. There's a mode of moving image or little video, which is moving image and its speech together. These things are in time. But at the same time, I have things which are not in time, bits of writing. So I have things which are not in time and things which are temporally instantiated. I have an image, a still image, which is spatial. So because I want to say things which are about things which are in time, they move. Things which are not in time, they're stationary. things which are spatially kind of displayed, like images. I want to put all these together because of the meaning that I want to make. So I have a sense of what these things do. I have a sense of what I want to mean. And so I have a kind of an interest to make a composition in which certain kinds of things come together in a particular way that best exemplifies or communicates what I want to mean.
Okay.
So these modes are kind of arranged according to the interest I have as the person communicates, but also my sense of who you are and what might be most interesting, most readily memorable, but most pleasurable, most informative for you. So these things are sort of set in a communicational frame.
So you seem to suggest that different modes can do different kinds of things.
Yes, and I suggested in part that it's me who makes the decision about which mode to use. There is also, of course, around me a sort of conventional notion. So, for instance, if I'm kind of communicating something very formally, then writing might seem to be, because my society tells me, the best means for doing that. It seems that we have in our society not just these modes available to use, but also conventions that indicate to us, not as strict rules, nobody's going to get shot, but as rules, conventions to use them in particular ways. And so we might say that writing over many hundreds of years in literate societies has become specialized to be the carrier of certain kinds of information. There's a functional specialization of writing. And also, of course, then what happens is that writing in that past, which is now changing very rapidly, carried most of the informational load. So we can ask, in a particular on this website, which mode is carrying most informational load.
So if we look at this BBC News website, we can talk about which of the different modes has the most functional specialization and functional load?
Which we can say which mode has been specialized for what kinds of purposes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the writing next to the image seems to be specialized to kind of make certain kinds of things in the image seem more salient, or to give a context, a frame for what this image actually is. That seems to be what writing is doing here. That's its specialization. Now the question is, which of them carries more informational load? And I would find that actually quite difficult to answer, because writing kind of frames, it provides an environment, it provides a kind of a background to the image, but the image seems most potent. And then they're also organized in a kind of a left-right relationship. The image is on the left and the writing is on the right. So I'm asking myself, does that matter? And would it matter if the writing was on the left and the image on the right? Now, these are the kinds of questions we now have to begin to think about, because we're making a composition in which everything that is there ought to be where it should be in terms of the meanings I want to make.
So is this what we mean by layout then?
In relation to the module we're just looking at, we're looking at a module here of image and writing. On the website, it's quite near the top. And it's on the, if this was sort of seen as two columns, really, it's in the left column. That has a particular place there. Seemingly, if you kind of look at the website, you might come to that first, especially if you scroll down. You don't have to scroll down in order to see that. So something about the space has been used to make that most prominent. It's what you come to first after you've got the BBC band at the top. It's first, it's on the left. In the West, we're trained to read from the left to the right, so we look there first. It's most prominent. Layout, the possibility of putting things in space in a meaningful way, has been used to make us attend to that before we attend to other kinds of things. We don't have to scroll down. It's kind of prominently there. That's what we mean by layout.
Is this related to if we talk about ordering?
Absolutely. For instance, on this website, as you can see, there's a smaller module opposite in the right column, where this particular module about the soldiers and the tank and war in Afghanistan are, a smaller kind of thing. And somehow, if you now imagined this smaller element being on the left and the module about the war in Afghanistan being on the right, intuitively might think it would look unbalanced. It would seem kind of odd. It wouldn't seem quite right. So there is a kind of thing about ordering which might be both about significance. It might be about a sort of a sense of a proper composition in which things should be kind of balanced in terms of a visual kind of ordering of them. And yes, that's what ordering is about, but also the fact that as you scroll down, other things appear. Somebody has thought things which are less in importance can be lower in terms of scrolling down on the website.
So the things which you mentioned earlier, the word salient. So what they have assumed being more salient will be, for example, on the left top side.
I would say so. Yeah. So in the module, the tank is on the left, the writing is on the right. In these two columns, the item on the war in Afghanistan is on the left, and the other item, which I can't quite see what it's about, it's trailing something in some other bit of program, is on the right-hand side. So there is a kind of a sense of which are the more significant spaces on that screen.
In linguistics, we're used to talking about coherence and cohesion in a text. How can we use those terms when we're talking about multimodality?
The way that, in my own understanding of linguistics, that's been used is that cohesion tells you about the devices you use for making something coherent. And I think you can use that much in the same way here. You get a sense, for instance, if this screen was arranged in such a way that you say, sometimes what seems to be most important is on the right, sometimes what's most important is on the left, that would produce a sense of lack of coherence. The cohesive device of ordering in space would have been not really fully used. But also, if, for instance, you had a color scheme here, where the kind of, I don't know what we call the BBC red there, a Moroni sort of red
Banner.
In that banner, if that color, it could be matched by other kinds of reds or pinks or greens or blues. So then the sense of coherence of the page would be destroyed by a kind of an inconsiderate use of the mode of color. Yeah, so there are devices here that produce the sense of, yes, this belongs here. It is where it ought to be. And this is where it ought to be. And they are of various kinds. It's positioning. It's there is something coherent about the color that occurs here. The color in the image of the tank isn't out of place in relation to the maroon of the banner of the yeah. So I think one can transfer the notion of cohesive devices. What are the means of making something coherent? And the notion of it is coherent, it makes sense, from the linguistic or from other things to this. But we would have to sort of say it's no longer about sentences in sequence or elements of sentences which kind of link across from sentence to sentence, but it's different kinds of things. For instance, in linguistics, nobody would think about color as being a means for making something coherent.
Okay. So we have a question still on the team. So it's easy for you Okay, so on team, you go to file, and so you see homework. Okay, this one. You have file, not yet. In general, you'll find uploaded and week 3. So you see here the what is a multimodality quiz. Okay, so you can see okay, so you can see here all the information you should watch. You can see the link. You see the link, and you watch the video clip about the multimodality, and then every student have to answer the 5 multi-choice question following. Okay, and then you submit it on team. Okay,
Cái này tạo cái khác rồi.
Xong rồi.
yeah. Ok, các em theo dõi được cả chứ? Cái yêu cầu ấy thì chúng ta sẽ xem cái clip như vừa rồi, chúng ta có thể xem lại và tôi sẽ đưa cái chúng ta sẽ có một cái quiz. Đó. Đấy, thì đây là cái mà chúng ta cần. Đường link, và ở phía dưới ta có cái multiple choice questions. Ok, multiple choice question, và chúng ta sẽ đọc và xem cái yêu cầu này. Và chúng ta sẽ hoàn thiện cái câu trả lời, xem là chúng ta đã xem và hiểu xem cái multimodality như thế nào. Đúng không? Và chúng ta sẽ sử dụng các cái, đây cũng chúng ta một làm một cái tip trick và những cái rule khi để chúng ta tạo ra các cái presentation. Thế thì cái presentation ở đây ấy, nó không đơn thuần nó chỉ là cái mà chúng ta làm cái slide, mà nó là cái cách trình bày. Đó, một cách trình bày của cái một cái dạng tài liệu. Đấy. Thế thì các em sẽ theo dõi những cái gợi ý của họ. Đấy, của tác giả, và chúng ta sẽ ứng dụng nó ở trong cái bài tập của chúng ta như thế nào. Các em có nghe được rõ cả không? Ok, Nhất trí, thế tốt rồi. Thế thì các em sẽ xem lại cái clip đó nhá, vào trong team nhá, vào trong team, trong cái phần mà các cái activities, trong các cái đấy thì tôi đã có trong cái tài liệu học tập ấy, thì tôi có đẩy lên thành theo từng tuần để chúng ta tiện theo dõi. Đó. Cái deadline này các em trong cái tuần tới, trong tuần tới thì chúng ta sẽ có một cái buổi họp, đúng không? Ta sẽ ở nhà để hoàn thiện tất cả các em định dạng file name, định dạng theo tên và mã số sinh viên. Cái này là các em làm độc lập. Các em có thể thảo luận nhóm với nhau. Đấy. Các em vẫn có thể thảo luận nhóm với nhau và bàn bạc. Cái này tôi không yêu cầu, nhưng mà các em nên làm. Mỗi một người có một cái sheet riêng của mình, để tôi qua đó tôi cũng nắm được xem là các em có theo dõi có tốt không, chất lượng nó như thế nào. Ok. Bài Digital Introduction các em cũng làm độc lập, mỗi người một cái. Chúng ta có thời gian ở tuần sau để hoàn thiện một cái Digital Introduction này. Tôi sẽ list trong cái nhiệm vụ ở trên team nhá. Vì cái multi choice này các em làm rất nhanh, các em xem các em làm rất nhanh. Cái này chỉ làm độ khoảng xem xong các em có chắc là xem đến độ khoảng 2 lần 3 lần là cùng thôi là có thể hiểu rồi. Thế thì sau đó thì coi như là làm cái bài multi choice này cho nhiều lắm thì hết độ khoảng bằng một tiết học là cùng. Phần nào hiểu rồi chúng ta có thể bỏ qua, đúng không? Đúng rồi, video là các em chỉ làm có 1 phút thôi. Cái introduction đấy các em chỉ làm có 1 phút thôi. Tôi cũng upload cả cái video introduction của Dr. Aurora rồi. Chỉ các em thấy là một bà native và người nói tiếng Anh gốc sẽ trình bày một cái digital introduction như thế nào. Được chưa? Thế thì buổi học nay chúng ta sẽ kết thúc ở đây nhá. Trong cái bài tập về nhà hôm trước tôi đã có deadline rồi. Okay.